Take a good look, guys. This is what $1 million gets you now. A tiny little row house. I brought you up here to this new development today to show you what $1 million gets you in 2024. Guess what, guys? It's not much. Check out these units. So this whole area I'm standing in right now is a new development. And most of what they're building here are these giant custom homes that currently go for between $2.5 and let's say $4 million. But what's interesting is that new developments now often have requirements for higher density housing because there's such a crazy housing shortage here in Oregon and all along the West Coast, because there's not nearly enough housing for as many people that live here and for as many people that want to move here. So what they require to open up new zoning is that they include some higher density as well. What we have right here behind me is a 2-bedroom home that's over $1 million. Now, to some of you, that might sound completely insane. To me, it sure does. It almost resembles a double wide. It honestly is probably about the same width as a double wide. And these units with 2 bedrooms, they don't have an upstairs. Let's walk around the unit here and take a look at what you get for over $1 million these days. Obviously, they're not done with the landscaping here. They're probably going to do some grass or something in between. But you can see that you're so close to your neighbor, you could probably reach your hands out and touch their house. So we have some desert landscape they're putting in with the rock and a few of these ornamental grasses and some yarrow. Looks like there's going to be about a 5.5-foot fence, so people walking by will be able to see into your backyard. Here's the backside. Your house doesn't have any street parking in the front or in the rear. You have this tiny little driveway with a garage that it might be wide enough to fit a car in. It's very narrow. And then obviously they'll put some kind of an awning over the back porch here. And that's about how much distance you have for between your house and your neighbor's house. If you reach your arms out, you might actually be able to touch the fence. Take a closer look at some of these units. So this is obviously one of the bedrooms, and then in the front there's kind of like the living room, I guess, and then there would be a bathroom and another room. Guys, this is completely insane. Who in their right mind would buy these places? What real human being would buy this? See, that's actually a trick question, because I don't think they're actually building these for real people. The prices just don't make any sense whatsoever. It's almost like they were required to build these, and so they did, and now they've been sitting. I actually made a video about these more than 6 months ago, and I can't find any evidence that a single one has sold. So now take a look here. We can see that there's a couple, at least one of the units, but probably a few that are listed for rent now. And they want $4,000 a month for it. $4,000 for 2 bedrooms. So I know a lot of you guys will say that they're building this for, not for real people, but instead they're building them to be bought up by huge corporations, to be bought up by the ultra rich, just to sit on them and hold them and never actually use them. You might be right. Maybe BlackRock will come in, buy up every single one, and start renting them out for $1 million a month. But as I see it right now, they're already not renting for $4,000. And for over $1 million, how can anybody make that work as a rental? But this is it. This is the future. Take a quick look here and see what they give you for a backyard on one of these completed units. Does that look like $1 million backyard to you guys? Now I know some of you guys will say this is an extreme example because I'm in Bend, Oregon, and it's such an expensive place. Yeah, okay. But you go any corner of town, not just way on the west side over here, anywhere that they're opening up for development, the price points are absolutely insane. We're talking about starter homes for $800,000, $900,000, $1 million, and that goes for pretty much anywhere in the state. Over in the Portland metro area, it's easy to find examples of this. All the houses close to $1 million. And a short walk down the street, here we have these row houses that are all just crammed together for sale for $1.25 million. Also, you can hear your neighbors arguing. Also, you can hear them listen to their crappy TV shows and horrible music through their paper-thin walls all day. Take a good look, guys. This is what $1 million gets you now. A tiny little row house. Truly is a shame. So I was just walking from that other row of tiny little expensive houses over there, and there was a realtor showing some people one of these overpriced places, believe it or not. So I had to say something. I said, don't buy it, they're too expensive. And man, the lady freaked out. I don't know if you guys know anything about the realtors around here, but they all know me from my face on TikTok, and they absolutely hate me. So this lady looked like she was headed to call the police or something, so I gotta get out of here. You know, I'm just stating an opinion, but it seems like an obvious opinion. But man, these realtors are gonna put a hit out on me. So when I was a kid, my dad was a garbage man. And I remember he took my brother and I on kind of a ride along in his truck, not in his garbage truck, but in his truck, and he went and he showed us what he dubbed the $1 million houses. And my brother and I were so excited to see these places because it was mesmerizing to think of such a big, beautiful home in such a nice neighborhood. Well, I'm 26 years old. So if we're talking about going on that ride with my dad when I was a kid, we're talking about maybe 15 years ago. So $1 million home nowadays, to go from a big, beautiful place like this to now, be a tiny little place like that is absolutely mind-blowing. So basically, to afford one of these $1 million tiny little houses, you'd have to have 2 incomes, each of over 100,000, probably closer to 200,000. That's just to live in a 2-bedroom. So obviously in building these, the eyes that they have are on investors and corporations and that sort of thing, not for real people. They don't want real people who are actually gonna live and work in the community to buy these houses. They've set it up so that would literally be impossible. So let's take a look now at a couple examples of what they're opening up way over on the east side and on the south side and on the north side for development in town here. These are supposed to be the more family-oriented, working class type houses. Let's take a look at what those are going for. Already you can see that the price points on these are way more than the average family could afford. You know, they tell you, go to college, get your 4-year degree, come out and get a decent job. Well, I'll tell you, most of the 4-year degree, marketing jobs and that sort of thing, they're still paying 50, 60 grand a year. You'd need quadruple that to afford even a starter home here. And for the whole state of Oregon, home prices here doubling in basically 4 years, and we see wages that are barely up, maybe 10%. Now I get a lot of the sentiment from you guys that, you know, we just need to get my guy in office. If we get my guy in office, everything's gonna be fixed. Well, I hate to break it to you, but the damage is mostly done here. You can't double the supply of money in circulation in a matter of years and expect things to just get better. Now we could have a correction, we could have somewhat of a crash, but I don't see any future where these houses will be considered affordable ever again. New houses, that's going to be for elite investors, people buying 2nd, 3rd, and 4th homes. It's not going to be for average families starting out. The system is literally broken. You know, we got teacher jobs here paying $45,000. We got police officers making $65,000. You know, how do you want these people that are integral parts of your community to live in a place like this when bedrooms are going for $1,500 to $1,800 a month? And it's no wonder why no one's having kids. Where are you supposed to raise your family? Here's the one that's listed, guys. $4,000 a month for this place. Can you imagine that? 1,000 square feet? How in the world? 4,000 bucks a month for that? You're telling me you have to make 3 times rent. So $12,000 a month you have to make to live in this tiny 1,000 square foot house. Oh look, this isn't supposed to be a black pill kind of video. This is just, I wanted to bring you guys over here and show you how ridiculous these little tiny houses are for how expensive they are. Give you an idea of what the future is looking like here in Central Oregon and pretty much across all the West Coast. So if you like seeing this sort of thing, make sure and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be showing lots of videos of houses in Oregon and other states where prices have gone absolutely insane. I believe that this one right here is 2.4 million. This one is a little bit over 2 million.